Good evening and welcome to episode 33 of Red True Diaries. The sun is setting on another gorgeous day, a really special day, the festival of St. John the Baptist, which, as I mentioned yesterday, is celebrated around the world in different countries, and it's also a big deal to me because it's around the summer solstice and a lot of qualities. St. John the Baptist represents a lot of qualities that I believe in that aren't as common today. And today has been quite a challenging day, man, let me tell you. But it has helped me practice some of my fundamental beliefs, and my battery is dying, so I'm not gonna dilly-dally, and hopefully this won't get cut off. Ow, and even right now I have something thorny sticking me. Oh, okay. Oh. All right, so I'm going to read from a journal that I have. This is a 15-year-old journal from the year 2000. This is actually one of my biggest journals I've ever kept, and it's a very special one to me too. And it's funny because yesterday when I was looking for entries, I saw that this one had an entry on today that was an incredible day to me, one of my favorites. And I'm going to start with a poem that I wrote on June 22nd of 2000, and it says, "If I were in love with you." Let's see if we can get a better view too. Oh, work with me here. Okay. And you see, even that butterfly in my journal is, I think, something one of a niece or nephew did. So hopefully that will stay as I have it placed. Oh, great. Okay, something's working for me today. All right. If I were in love with you, I'd think of you in some way, shape, or form all the time. Time would disappear. Only you appears. All that you asked would be granted, so be mindful of what you ask for. I dedicate all thanks and praise to you. I am totally and completely in love with you. All that is mine is yours. All that is me is you. My universe is your universe. We are inseparable. The sun glows amber to display all the warmth we exude. The moon lights our way in the dark when our eyes no longer see for us. The stars shine and twinkle like our hearts as the precious jewels interwoven with the earth. Our love is intertwined with all of creation. Oh yeah, just feeling it. So, Saturday, June 24th, year 2000, 8:58 a.m. I didn't get into work until 4:30 a.m. Carrie was ultra cool about it. Joshua picked me up around midnight. We picked up some things to drink and took them to his friend's place. The friend was at his boyfriend's place, moving into it slowly. We lied on the air mattress, listened to music, talked. He massaged my back and kissed my shoulder. He massaged some more and kissed my other shoulder. Then he leaned me down so close to me to say something. I don't even remember what. I had no idea he felt how he feels towards me. Oh yeah, he quit cigarettes. He hasn't had one since last Sunday. I found out that little tidbit out in the supermarket before we ever got to the house. There was nothing keeping from, I think I meant to put me. There was nothing keeping me from him in my mind. And even though I imagined kissing him and feeling so right doing so, I was still a bit surprised when it actually happened. He just loves my body. He said that I have a woman's body. I agree. I definitely am a woman. I had no idea he had that kind of passion in him. I could see it at times, but I didn't think he would express it the way he did. I mean, we kissed on the bed, all over it. The chair, the downstairs, the wall, and the car, all in a little over 2 hours. I remember asking what time it was shortly before he gave me a massage, and it was 2 a.m. We got in the car around 4:10 a.m. Later on, 10:51 a.m. Mom called. I told her about Joshua. I called 3 other friends and Mom. Aaliyah was the last person I spoke with. Everyone's great. I'm not even sure I have the words to describe what I experienced yesterday with Joshua. The things he said, the way he reacted to me. So, one of the reasons it was so special, and then the next entry I go into detail about it, but it just reminded me, like, it took me back because that guy just brought out so much inspiration to me, and we saw each other a few times after that, but we didn't date we didn't take things any further. He was actually a recovering alcoholic, and he was in the AA program, and felt that, and he was only, I think, 4 or 5 months into it, and felt that, and they suggest not dating, and so he didn't want to get too carried away and be tempted to relapse due to, say, strong emotional connections. And it just all blew me away. I mean, how we met, because I actually approached him one day when I just saw him pass by me, and I normally don't do that. And we had gone out several times before that night, and he was a smoker, and I was around 22 then, or 23, sometime around there, and I think it was 23, and, or no, 20, whatever, 22 or 23, and I did not like dating people who smoke cigarettes, no matter how much I liked them, because I just thought it tasted gross. I still do, but I make exceptions these days. But anyway, I still prefer not to. I still think it tastes gross, but it wouldn't keep me from someone if I really was in love with them like I was him. In any case, yeah, he was just, honestly, he was one of the kindest and sweetest guys, and funny and creative, and I had never been with anyone like him until that point, and he was also, to me, drop dead gorgeous, and I just hadn't had anyone that fit that criteria, all those qualities, be so into me like that. And as you can hear from my expressions, it really took me back, and so it also it made me write a lot of poetry, including the one I wrote before. Well, not just that experience, but him, and that's around that time when I started using, say, feelings that I felt towards people, and strongly to express myself creatively. That was, I felt, the beginning of that stage of my life where I really started to come into myself as an artist. And yeah, so that whole experience, and being reminded of that around this time of year 15 years ago, it's hard to believe. Yeah, so actually I must have been 23, because I'm 38 now. So, and I'll be 39 later this year. So I'm glad that this didn't cut off, and I was able to share all of that with you, and hopefully, you have some kind of way to tap into these parts of yourself that make you feel appreciative and thrive and alive, versus just surviving, because that's one of the precious gifts, in my opinion, that life has to offer. And I will say, for all the shortcomings that people and America does have, today it's rolled over in my mind quite a few times just how much I'm grateful for, to be able to be a woman and go out and do so much as I please, and have been born into a situation in poverty basically, and growing up in the projects, and to have lived the life I've lived, and to have been able to do so much with so little. I mean, I don't have a relationship with my father, so I've had no help from him, and with my mom, you know, there's only so much she was able to do for me too, and so a lot has been done on my own. These things that I talk about in terms of being empowering for people, not just women but men too. I speak from a lot of experience, as well as drawing on, you know, stories from other people to real life accounts. And it's pretty remarkable, considering a lot of the restrictions that many others feel, and especially women, especially minorities around the world. And one thing that came to mind, because I do want to buy a new vibrator soon, and I thought, wow, the fact that, you know, I have options and choices. I, you know, make the money that I do to be able to support myself, to be able to go out and have stores available to me that have those, or online, and have it, I could have it shipped right to my door if I wanted. It's just these little things we take for granted, and too many of us can focus on all that we don't have, and there's just such a plethora of things right here for our taking. And that's why I like to give the suggestions that I do to, you know, help switch perspectives, because perspective is everything. So, oh yeah, and I woke up to my period. That was one of the reasons vibrators were on my mind, because the one I have is okay, it's good, and it's not the same one. That one I don't have anymore, the one I showed in episodes about a month ago. So that's one of the reasons I need a new one. And the one I used worked. It was great, in some ways better than I expected, but I still would like to get a different one. And yeah, so woke up to my period, and you know, it's draining, literally, but I'm so grateful to have it in exactly 29.5 days after the last one. And orgasms, that's the vibrator, really do just help my cramps. Cramps used to be a really big problem for me on my first day, and ever since I, you know, make sure I have plenty of orgasms, probably had, I don't know, 10 to 15 this morning, which was an awesome way to start my day, on top of meditating and stretching. But the challenge came when I left the house and started dealing with people and forgetting things and being tired and sleepy because I had a lot to do, and woke up earlier than planned. And yeah, but I did make it here for sunset, and I did take a nap, which was great. And it's just been nice. I really, you know, yeah, I've had challenges, and we all will, especially if you're a human being. If you are human, if you're watching this, you're most likely human. But they do help us grow. Oh yeah, that was one other challenge day, is when I went to my local natural food store. I saw the person I've mentioned before too, who has been a source of great pain in my life, and I was thinking of one of the hardest parts is when you feel tremendous loss, no matter what's going on in your life. It could be the greatest things ever, but when you feel a sense of loss that you do from heartbreak, and all you could do is just wait it out and take it day by day, small steps to feel better. It's like losing weight, or say gaining weight, working on, you know, the things that just take time and building blocks. It can feel like coming back to a state, for me, like I said, I used to be in a more blissed out, more happy and in love with life type of person. And after that shock of someone so close to me being such an awful person to me for as long as he was, it did take a while for me to yeah, I see people up there just wondering what's going on. So it's going pretty good. That is real. So, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, it can take a while for you to get back to the point where you even believe that you can feel close to what you did before, let alone come into that again. And I will say now that I am finally coming back to more of a blissed out state of being just on my own, and not because of you know, being romantically involved with another person. I know some people say that whole, you know, you want to get over someone, get under someone else, but again, this heartbreak wasn't romantic as much as it was on a friendship level. I mean, someone you think is one of your best friends, you know, breaks your heart and shows you that you can't trust them, and you know, it's better not to even have them in your life. For me, that was, after 20 years, it was devastating. But, you know, and again, running into him today, how ironic. But I see it for what it is, and I'm glad that I can appreciate the gifts that have even come from the pain and the hardship. And yeah, and just like even dealing with people, especially on the road, drivers, and all kinds of situations. Being so hot, and as much as I love the heat, especially after this cold winter, that's one of the reasons I actually bought this dress on the go, because what I had on earlier was just too hot. I feel like, you know, situations arise and we do what we can to handle it as best we can, and so it continues, the cycles, the circles, and that's what I liked about this dress too. The circles, all one. Thank you for watching and listening. May you have a wonderful time exploring. I love you.